Hey guys, welcome back to Election Center, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 2024 electoral map if Joe Biden were to only win 10 states, and which states I think that would be. Now, first off, guys, I'm aware that this is not at all a realistic scenario, right? Of course Joe Biden's going to win more than 10 states. I think just the safe blue states alone, that gets him above the 10-state mark. But I still think it would be interesting. It's basically taking a look almost. A way you could put it is looking at the top 10 bluest states. That's a way you could put it. Of course, there are some other factors. The candidates themselves affect which states these are going to be. Because I'm talking about specifically Joe Biden versus Donald Trump here in 2020. But yeah, I still think that's a way you could put it, and this is going to be pretty interesting to look at. But anyway, diving into the video, let's get started. So first off, we're just going to give him DC by default, and then we're going to give him Massachusetts, the safest of the safe blue states, where the Democrat pretty much always wins by, 30 points. And then as we go, let's fill in some of these red states, right? Just so it's sort of as we go, we're filling in the red states as well. Now another state I think will definitely go to Joe Biden in this 10-state scenario is New York. If you look at the data, if you look at the history of New York, in terms of how it votes, it's definitely going to be solid Democratic if Joe Biden only wins 10 states. Or I don't know what margin it would be in this 10-state scenario, but it's a safe Democratic state. Look at the data. You'll agree with me, right? So yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those states Joe Biden wins in. It's a large state, 29 electoral votes. Filling in some more red states here. California. This is definitely going to go to Joe Biden. Hillary Clinton, I believe, won it by 30 points. She won the national vote by 2 points, California by 30 points. I think that gives you a bit of a clue as to how safe this state is for the Democrats. Really, starting with Barack Obama's showing in 2008, we saw a lot of states just at that election become safe blue. One of these was California. In the election before that, it had been a 10-point margin. George W. Bush, he had done respectably in the state of California. It was not really that close. But it was almost kind of a battleground. It was just a 10-point margin. But then in 2008, it became totally safe blue for the Democrats. And the Republicans haven't rebounded here since then. So yeah, definitely a safe Democratic state nowadays, California. It's going to be one of those states. Another similar state, Hawaii. Once again, in 2004, was actually kind of competitive for the Republicans. But then Barack Obama turned it into a safe blue state. He won it big time. Obviously, this is his state of birth, home state. Maybe that helped him out. But since then, the Republicans didn't recapture support, it doesn't look like. Super safe for the Democrats. Definitely going to go to them in this scenario. Let's fill in some more of these states here. New Mexico, that's not going to go to them. We see it trending to the left, right? Or becoming more and more out of the Republicans' reach. But it's still not going to go to them in the Democrats in this scenario. It's going to go to the Republicans just because the margins aren't wide enough. It's just not safe enough. If Joe Biden only wins 10 states, sorry, New Mexico, it's not going to make the cut. But yeah, let's fill in some battleground states. Democrats wouldn't really win battleground states. It would really be kind of a Republican sweep on that front. But let's fill in Illinois here, where the margins aren't quite as wide as some of these other states like California, Massachusetts, New York. Definitely not as wide as DC, but which isn't actually a state, DC. But it's just getting safer for the Democrats, right? It just keeps on getting safer and safer. This time around, I think it's going to be over a 20-point margin. I think that's definitely enough for it to make the cut for this. I think starting now, it is very, very, very safe for the Democrats. It was sort of in a transition period, and I think, 2016, it became a 17-point wedge between the Democrats and Republicans. And now it's pretty much just as safe blue as it gets. Part of that tier, part of that club of really solid blue states nowadays. Joe Biden wouldn't win these Rust Belt states, even though Joe Biden actually does really well in the Rust Belt right now. He would not win any of those Rust Belt states here out of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. I believe Illinois is actually a Rust Belt state. I've seen vague definitions for what constitutes the Rust Belt, but he would not win those 3 states. Oregon, that'd go to Donald Trump. It was just a 10 or 11-point margin back in 2016. I was kind of shocked looking back at that, about how it was kind of relatively close in Oregon. But yeah, not going to Joe Biden in this 10-state scenario. Alaska going to the Republicans. I was feeling some more of these Joe Biden states. Vermont, extremely safe for the Democrats. So yeah, it's definitely going to go to Joe Biden in this scenario. These New England states, you notice the Democratic strength in New England in the Northeast. How many states are we at here for Joe Biden? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's turn that to 7 with Connecticut, and let's turn that to 8 with Rhode Island. Super safe Democratic states. Hillary Clinton kind of had a weak showing, I mean, it sounds ridiculous saying a weak showing when she won it by 15 points or so, both of these states. But, you know, Barack Obama won these by over 20 points, or maybe even close to 30 points, so really a big bounce to the Republicans, actually, if you look at the data. But I think Joe Biden is going to recuperate. I think that Joe Biden is sort of almost, you can think of him as the middle ground between Hillary Clinton style margins and then Barack Obama style margins, whereas Hillary Clinton was kind of on the softer side, where, you know, things got kind of surprisingly close in a lot of states. Barack Obama had a lot of really solid, strong margins in these safer blue states. So, yeah, I think of Joe Biden as sort of the middle ground. He was, you know, Obama's VP, and a lot of people don't seem to have too much of a problem with voting for Joe Biden, whereas people had a lot more qualms with Hillary Clinton. But anyway, moving on. Maryland definitely going to go to Joe Biden. Safe Democratic state, one of the safest. How many are we at here now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The final state, ladies and gentlemen. It's not New Jersey. It's not Delaware. It's definitely not Virginia. Yeah, it is Washington. The next safest Democratic state. It was an 18-point margin, I think, for Obama in 2012. And then it got a bit closer in 2016, but not close enough to really a true competitive level. I think it's going to make the top 10 here in terms of the top 10 bluest of the blue states. So yeah, it's going to go to Joe Biden in my scenario, Washington. And now we just fill in the rest of these states Republican. This is the final electoral map in this 10-state scenario where Joe Biden wins just 10 states. You strip it down to the bare bones. And let's give him that first congressional district in Maine if he's going to win these other 10 states. I think he'll also win that first congressional district in Maine. So, yeah, that's 159 electoral votes for Joe Biden, 379 electoral votes for Donald Trump in this scenario. Things would really have to fall great for Donald Trump because a lot of these states will never vote for Donald Trump in a realistic scenario. You know, I think in past elections, maybe this would be considered a respectable showing for the Democratic ticket. You know, wide margin, almost kind of a wipeout, but respectable. But by today's standards in this polarized political environment, this is a total landslide. I mean, nowadays, you know, where we have all these states where it's sort of just assumed one party is going to win, it's really about who wins all the battlegrounds. How many battlegrounds do both of the sides win? And all those battlegrounds going to Donald Trump. This is a landslide, ladies and gentlemen. 379 electoral votes for Donald Trump, the winner. Joe Biden, 159 electoral votes. So anyway, guys, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments on what would need to happen for something like this to happen. This type of scenario to play out on the 2020 electoral map, U.S. presidential election. I'm really curious to know your guys' thoughts on this. Maybe I can chat with you guys in the comments about this. But anyway, guys, that's a wrap on this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thought it was interesting. If you're into this type of content I make here on this channel, you know, electoral maps, polls, the statistics about, you know, elections, all things related to elections. You're going to love the content I make here on this channel. You should definitely subscribe. You're going to really enjoy the videos I've already made here and the videos I'm going to make in the future. So anyway, I think you should definitely subscribe because this type of content is going to be right up your alley if you're into this sort of thing. But anyway, guys, I say it one last time. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thought it was interesting. And I will see you in the very next Election Center video. Bye, guys.